I'm going to show you how to make delicious, easy pizza on your wood-burning stove while camping. Step 1, get your pan, put it on top of your stove. Next, make some dough in advance. I got plenty of recipes on my channel. This is New York style dough. I just keep it in a bag and I like to keep it flat. If you're out in the cold, one thing I recommend is to take your bag and put it in your coat with you. Keep the dough warm so it's a lot easier to work with. So it's a little easier just to grab a little piece of it. And that's what I'll do, is just reach in, kind of eyeball about, what, a 4-inch circle by 1.5 inch thick. And then I'll just use my hands, and there's some olive oil already in the bag so my hands aren't sticking. I'll just use my hands to stretch out this dough. You want to just look for any of the thick spots and press them down. And then there's some thinner spots where you can kind of see through. Oh, it's hard to tell on that camera. And once it's about the size of your pan, go ahead and set it on. You should hear a nice sizzle like so. And if your pizza's not cooking fast enough, what you can do is pop this lid off, get it exposed to the fire, and throw your pan back on and cook it directly over the fire, and that will help cook it a little bit hotter. I like to kind of turn it halfway through just in case there's a hot spot. I think our fire's dying down. Keep it alive. Always make sure you're topped off on wood.
Send them out.
I don't know, this will be a minute. Once it's nice and browned, go ahead and flip. Oh, brown to perfection. What's also really good with this, if you have extra dough for dessert, honey butter. Drizzle that on top and it's so good. That's all I can think about now. Pizza, food just tastes better when you cook it over a fire.
Sitting on the ground.
Or on the ground, like in a different circumstance. You really appreciate the food a lot more. Okay, you'll know the dough's done is when it springs back for the most part. If it's still pretty doughy and soft, it's not going to spring back as nicely. So, ours is nice and toasty. You can see on this side, also looking delicious. And now I like to pull it off the heat so it's not too hot while we address the toppings. I'm doing pepperoni. And now the cheese. The cheese I just sliced low moisture mozzarella. Just sliced it by hand. It's a lot easier just to throw it in a container and bring it along. When you shred it before, it tends to stick into a big glob. And then once you've covered your pan with your toppings, take your pizza dough, throw it on top, and then bring it back over to the heat. Now as it's cooking, you can check on it, and if the cheese is still kind of falling off and is gooey still, and if you like your cheese gooey, now's the time to pull it off. I like mine to be a little bit crisp, where the cheese has kind of crisped a little, but is still gooey. It's kind of a sweet spot, but that's where I like mine, because I'm a baller. Some spots are crispy, some spots are gooey. So I just take a plate and put it on here and flip it over. And as you can see, ooh, yeah, it all came off. Look at that delicious pizza. So you can see here's the more charred or crispy cheese, which I love. And then still got some of the gooey cheese. That is a good looking pizza. Let's go ahead and slice it up. I just got some scissors here that I'll be cutting it with. So I just take a little bit of sauce, some marinara sauce, pour it in a bowl. You get your slice of pizza, you dip it in your sauce. That is good. It's 18 degrees outside. You don't want to lug a pizza oven around, but you got something to heat your tent already. What better way to make pizza? Love to give a huge shout out to Winnerwell for sending us this camp stove. This thing's phenomenal. We've cooked on it, it's heated our tent. This thing has been awesome. Also shout out to White Duck Outdoors for this wonderful tent we're in right now. Helps keep the heat in. It's huge, spacious, and super fun. So big thanks to Winnerwell and White Duck Outdoors.